confiscate the money. That girl is a real proud beast. Small world, all her friends know me.
So we are back for an episode of the Reindeer MyLEAGUE here in 2K17. But last episode, we seen another season of the Reindeer MyLEAGUE, and we won our third championship in a row, getting that elusive three-peat under Josh Jackson, DeAndre Ayton, Sharif O'Neal, Nikola Jokic, Kemba Walker, and of course, Kenny Knight. So Kenny Knight last year, he was a rookie and led the team to a finals appearance against the 76ers, and is the top two teams in the East and the West facing off against each other, and we actually obviously won that one and got our three-peat. So this year, we're trying to do a lot better though. We're trying to either go undefeated in the playoffs, or even try and go, maybe even break the NBA record for wins in the regular season. That's one thing you always want to do, is make new challenges, and that's the only thing we really have left to do on this franchise mode. So right now, just trying to go and do all that just before all our players go to free agency, because obviously all these players, I mean, the salaries are way too high eventually if you go and add them all up. So right now, our team is Kemba Walker at point guard, we have Knight at shooting guard, we have Josh Jackson at small forward, DeAndre Ayton at power, Jokic at center still, and Sharif O'Neal as our sixth man this season. So right now in the power rankings, they finally realize we're better than the 76ers, so we're number one in all the power rankings right now on 2K. So this season we start off 6-2, kind of slow I guess, 9-2, 10-2. And right now we're number one in the Western Conference here, with the Lakers taking second so far. So the Lakers, the Reindeer, and even the Mavericks are one of the best teams in the West. And we could obviously see them pushing us for maybe a finals appearance. I don't know if they could probably beat us or not. Our team is way better than most of them, but you never know. Sometimes this 2K sim, it gets pretty bad. And sometimes bad teams actually beat you sometimes. It just happens occasionally if the sim's pretty bad. Right now, 34-4 or 37-4 on the season. Pretty good record, I say so myself. Trying to go and beat that single season record for wins is going to be pretty tough, but I mean, if any team could do it, it's our team. Obviously, on the Stingers, we won 82-0 on one season, so I don't know if you could beat that. But it all starts the season. We have LeBron James in possibly his last year. And then we go on to the West, and we finally do have one or two All-Stars, DeAndre Ayton and Josh Jackson. So we finally have two All-Stars for once. Usually have either one or none, but Kenny Knight is in the dunk contest. Three-point contest is the same old kind of people. Moving on to this Rookie Stars contest, we do have one man on the leads, and his name is Kenny Knight. So Kenny Knight makes the leads team. We finally have a few All-Stars, and plus DeAndre Ayton and Josh Jackson are on the MVP ballot right now. Rookie of the Year, we have no Rookie of the Year. Sixth man is DeAndre Ayton right now. So Ayton and Sharif O'Neal seem to be taking, swapping out spots with sixth man and power forward for the starters. So never know what that, but Josh Jackson and DeAndre Ayton at DPOY right now, both first and second right there. So DeAndre Ayton could take DPOY, maybe even MVP once again, just like last season where he took MVP as a Reindeer member. So now when it comes to re-signing players, you have Nikola Jokic as a free agent, $26.8 million. We'll re-sign him for 3 years on that one. Paul Strickland, though, we don't have enough money to go and sign Paul, so Paul, he's probably going to be a free agent this year just based on that. We don't have enough money to go and afford him. But Kenny Knight does win the dunk contest, and DeAndre Ayton and Josh Jackson play pretty well in the All-Star game. So our season, individual stats are doing very well so far. Obviously, Kenny Knight had a great All-Star weekend. We had DeAndre Ayton had a great All-Star weekend. Plus, Josh Jackson played well as usual. So, right now, 79, trying to go and tie the Warriors record. We do. This record is 74-9. As D'Angelo Russell is your MVP this season, Terrence Webster is Rookie of the Year. Sixth man is Cameron Payne. And DPOY for the fourth time in a row is your power forward DeAndre Ayton. So, DeAndre Ayton wins DPOY, but Luther Hamilton takes home Coach of the Year over Greg Popovich. Again, even though he had a better record, for some reason they take it over. So, when it comes to the NBA teams, we have no all players on the All-NBA team, but all defensive first team, we do have DeAndre Ayton and Josh Jackson, so at least we have them on there. But it sucks how every single year, we do not have any of them on the All-NBA team. It just doesn't make any sense why DeAndre Ayton or Josh Jackson isn't on there occasionally. But when it comes to stats this season, obviously Kenny Knight led us in points per game for some reason. So Kenny Knight stepped up big this season and led us in points per game. But other than that, though, same old kind of stats, so everyone playing well as usual as we won 74-9 in the season. So usually everyone plays well if you're like that. But we're facing the Dallas Mavericks in the first round of the playoffs. The Mavs, they have a weak team, I guess, compared to ours. Like, compared to all the other teams, they're pretty good, I guess. But Ayton, Rozier, and Strickland are both injured front. Game 1, we took Game 1, go 1-0 here against the Mavs in the first round. As Josh Jackson puts up 24 points, Kemba Walker 24 points, and 9 for 13 shooting from the field. So great game out of Kemba. As Game 2, we take Game 2 of the series, go up 2-0 here in this series. Kemba 27 points, and now in DeAndre Ayton, a great performance out of him, a double-double there. And Devin Booker 32 points for the Mavs, but other than that, not enough effort from the bench. But Game 3, we take Game 3 to go up 3-0 here in this game. Greg Monroe 22 points in that one. Kenny Knight 28 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists in that one. As we're getting into the possible final elimination game for the Mavs, we take this 126-91 finals. We move on to the semifinals in a sweep. So we sweep the Mavs in this first round. as we had a great performance out of everybody. We played very well against Devin Booker and those maps. So we're going to go face off against the Miami Heat in the West. The Heat, for some reason, they went to the West when he went and joined the NBA, so it's kind of weird there. But Dennis Smith Jr., 80 overall, he's a pretty good player. They have Harry Giles in there, 90 overall. They have a pretty decent overall team and probably could actually challenge us in this series. But we take game 1 here to go 1-0 here in this series. Josh Jackson, 25 and 10. Sharif O'Neal, 16 and 15 in that one. So great games, those two guys. But game 2, we take game 2 to go up to nothing here in this series. Kemba Walker, 24 points in that one. As right now, I believe you've won 6 games in a row so far in the playoffs. Going 2-0, now 3-0 on the season, at least in this series, as Malachi Richardson, 23 points in that one, Josh Jackson, 23. So Malachi played very well coming off the bench. They're going in to game 4 of the series, trying to go and sweep the Heat again. We do 138-95 finals. You sweep back-to-back series and move on to the WCF. So another Western Conference Finals appearance for us, as Harry Giles, 15 points, 12 rebounds for them. We're going to go facing off against the LA Lakers in the WCF. So the Lakers, they have a pretty downgraded team, I guess. Shane Wheeler did not pan out well at all. 81 overall. He hasn't really panned out well since getting picked first overall in 2017 NBA draft. But D'Angelo Russell is out for the season, so we can easily take the series there and probably even sweep him too, as you take a 1-0 series lead in game 1. Ingram had 34 points. Other than that, no good performances out of them. As game 2, take game 2, now up 2-0 here, as Kenny Knight, 25 points in that one. And Brandon Ingram, 27, and Shane Wheeler, 24 against us. Now game 3, we take game 3 to go up 3-0 here in the series. Ingram, 32 and 10. And other than that, Malachi Richardson stepped up again. 22 points out of him off the bench. Great game out of Malachi and the crew. Going into game 4 of the WCF. To sweep 3 opponents in a row, we do 136, 113 finals. You sweep back-to-back opponents and move on to the NBA Finals. So we move on to the finals once again for, I believe, a 4th year in a row here, as the Lakers just not good enough without D'Angelo Russell on their team. They played pretty well, I guess, but other than that, we're moving on to the finals. We're facing the Milwaukee Bucks once again, as the Bucks 64 and 18 on the season. And look at their team. Look at their team. Their team is deadly off, like on the bench, on their starting lineup. They have no injuries too, so we're in big trouble here, I guess, with that roster, as our team is downgraded just based on the people leaving our team. Obviously, Caldwell Pope left us. We take 1-0 a series lead in the finals, as Kenny Knight had a great game. Wendell Haynes, 24 points for them. And now heading into game 2 in the North Pole. They take this 114-110 final, 4-point W for them, as Kenny Knight, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists in that one, but not enough to go and beat those Bucks. So it looks like they're playing great defense on Josh Jackson, 7 for 22 shooting on that one. That is not good, as Wendell Haynes a triple-double in that game, in their first W in the finals. And now game 3 of the finals in Milwaukee, we take this 117-114 final. DeAndre Ayton has 26 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals in that one. A great game out of him as you take a 2-1 edge here in the finals. So at least you have a game over the Bucks at this point, but O'Neal, 28 points from him. Giannis, 23 on that game too. So heading into game 4 of the finals, they take this one 111-108 final, close game out of that one. 26 points for Kemba on the night. But other than that, it's now tied up a 2-apiece in the finals. That's not really that good, I guess, if you're facing a good team like the Bucks, as Wendell Haynes 19 points, but they somehow get the W with him as being their highest scorer. But game 5 of the series, take this 116-110 final, as we're now down 3-2 in this series. And that is not good if you're down in the finals, as usually you end up giving up against the finals opponent. But Wendell Haynes 21 points, as they all came together as a collective unit, just as we do every single year. Taking into game 6 of the NBA Finals, they're trying to go and avoid elimination here and try staying alive by winning game 6 of the NBA Finals.
Walker. It's off. And they've done it. The new NBA champions.
Well, they did it. And as they celebrate, you can just see the relief, the exhilaration that comes with winning it all.
And Clark, you have to hand it to the entire organization. They work together to get right here.
And guys, what a reward for the fan base. I mean, I know one thing. They're going to enjoy this memory for a long, long time.
And we have enjoyed our time with you folks all season long. This is Kevin Harlan saying so long. Have a wonderful summer.
So we were eliminated, and your Bucks are the champions. So the Bucks, Giannis 22 points out of that one, 25 points out of Wendell Haynes in that game, as they just came together as a collective unit and somehow won this game, as like clearly shooting was our issue here. Kemba Walker 4-14 in that final elimination game. Just not good shooting at all is the reason why we lost this game. So we weren't clutch, and that's why the Milwaukee Bucks are your champions. So we get knocked off our hierarchy. Did not win 4 championships in a row. But I guess it's good if you don't win a championship. I mean, it was getting pretty boring winning every single year. It's nice to have some healthy competition with the Milwaukee Bucks, especially considering we have almost the same logo as them, plus we have a similarly matched team to them too, so it's pretty nice seeing all the similarities between our two teams. But other than that, a decent overall playoff stats though. But LeBron James is retiring in the NBA, so LeBron is last year in the NBA, and I guess it's not too bad of a year for him in this final year. But other than that, 5-time MVP, 5-time champion, just great overall player in LeBron James, as he's one of the greatest players of all time, maybe even top 3. But Dwight Howard is retired too on there with Kyle Lowry, CJ Miles, everyone almost retired. It seems like tons of legends retired in this draft. As Kyle Lowry played a few years with the Raptors and then went to Portland, obviously, which I didn't really want to happen. But CJ Miles did retire too. He was on the North Pole Reindeer for about a year or two, so he came off the bench, played very good for us in those years. We have Al Horford, Thad Young, Marcus Gasol, George Hill. We have tons of players in this retiree class, so I guess it's pretty good seeing all these players retire, but at the same time, it's not good seeing all these faces leave the NBA, like Terrence Ross even too, a great bench player. I wanted to go and sign him a few seasons ago, but just didn't have enough money to go and sign him off the bench. But other than that, we have Jake Layman, Sean Kilpatrick, and so I'm heading to the draft lottery here. We do the 5th best odds with that LA Clippers unprotected draft pick we got a few years back, but we end up going and taking 9th overall, so we dropped them like tremendously in that one. It was like the 9th, 12th overall picks in the NBA draft in this season.
With the first pick in the NBA draft, the Boston Celtics select Lowell Stewart from the University of Arkansas. With the second pick in the NBA draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Melvin Richards from Wake Forest University. We have a trade to announce. With the third pick in the NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Willard Caffey from Washington State University. With the fourth pick in the NBA draft, the Sacramento Kings select Percy Bayless from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We have a trade to announce. With the fifth pick in the NBA draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Bobby Kelly from the University of Illinois. The ninth pick in the NBA draft, Matt George from the University of Kentucky. The 12th pick in the NBA draft, Troy Harrington from the University of Iowa. And the 30th pick in the NBA draft, Casey Mann from the University of Michigan.
It's another year, another draft here, and this draft wasn't that bad, I guess. We do have Lowell Stewart went first overall. We have Melvin Richards who went second overall, 82 overall, 21 years old. Great overall draft pick there. They have Caffey, Bayless, Kelly, Simon, Randolph. I mean, great overall players, I guess. Pretty decent potential there. As we went and picked Harrington 12th overall, plus we picked up Matt George 9th overall at that pick. So those guys are kind of raw prospects, 70 overall, 20 years old. like these guys could develop in due time, maybe even be able to play a few games for us down the road. So these are more just potential draft picks. Like these guys probably won't pan out to be too much, but your options are a few. Like we accept all of our options, obviously, but options for the NBA. Not too many big guys actually decline. We have Donnie. I don't know how to really say it. Too bad, but we do have Maxwell declined his option. We have Caldwell Pope declined his option too. So Caldwell Pope did went and signed up the Nuggets last season for about 2 years and a player option. But Paul Strickland, we go and qualify him as he's your only free agent this season, $22.5 million. Trying to go and sign him with those bird rights. But other than that, you have Giannis, we have Donnie Doncic, I think, John Wall, Maxwell, Caldwell Pope, Rudy Gobert, Thon Maker, Edmund Summer, Bender, Isaiah Thomas. It's a great overall free agency class for a lot of old dogs. But Kemba Walker, trying to go and trade him because he's making way too much money. We go and trade Kemba Walker a few seconds and a first for Trey Lyles and Maxwell. So Maxwell, great overall point guard. We trade Trey Lyles to the Warriors for a first round pick a few years down the road. We signed Bismack Biyombo on the bench because we actually have salary now on the team. But we also going to go and sign John Wall to like I think a few year deal worth about $5 million per year. So John Wall, get him as a backup point guard, would be great on this team, as Maxwell will probably be a better player than John Wall next season. Plus we signed another guy there for the bench. And signing Paul Strickland, just not able to do it as we are to have too much money in our salaries. So we go and he accepts our qualifying offer at the end of the free agency, as he's on the team next year, probably gonna get traded though in the regular season. So Maxwell 85 overall in that draft, after that trade. So that's good to see that. But we trade Rozier to the Bucks, we trade Biyombo to the Clippers, and we trade that one guy for 2 first round picks, and we got to go and trade Luau to the Heat for a first round pick. So that's the way it goes, as Maxwell is our point guard next season instead of Kemba Walker. We do have John Wall on the bench, probably going to be our 6th man, obviously. And that actually probably be our 7th man, just based on O'Neal. But anyway, guess on this episode over here. Make sure to like, subscribe for more Reindeer MyLEAGUE, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.